All right, home stretch. How about that, huh? This is step 4, which is what is their next step? This is probably the most crucial one of all, and it's because if you don't lead them to a tool, if you decide to be the tool, you're shooting yourself in the foot because by the time your new person gets their product, they're 95% trained on what happened to them to get them in. And if what happened to them was you did all the other steps, broke the ice, did the fact, small bit of information, did the 1 minute presentation where you brought them all up to this point, it leaves off with, so what do you think on the final 1 minute presentation? Or, and the rest is up to you. There's different ways to close it out, just to hand it back to them, right? And then if they say, well, gosh, I mean, how would I get this stuff? I got some questions. How much does it cost? And besides, what's that stuff made of? And what are the ingredients? And is this legal? And blah, 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 blah. And you go, hey, not a problem. I've got this. Sit down. We're going to go through it now. You're doing yourself a disservice, but you're doing them a business killing disservice, because isn't everybody afraid that they won't know all the answers? There's two kinds of people in the world. There's the kind that say, I need to know everything. I need all the lights to be green on the road before I leave the house to go to town. I need to know everything because you know what? I don't want people to think I'm stupid. All these different thoughts, right? And then there's the other people, the ones that say, just point me in the right direction, give me a little bit of information to get me going. I'll learn the rest as I go. I'll earn as I learn. Which group do you want to be in? Okay, that's one of those other little open the mind things. Okay, so the point being, if you want to really do justice to your business, but more importantly to theirs, you teach them to use the tools by using the tools on them. Because you're not going to one call close. Let's just accept that fact that you're not going to, under normal circumstances, unless now, because I can hear people saying, but Jim, I did. If you're watching this and you're already in and you've got some people where you went to them and an hour later, half hour later, 4 hours later, 3 days, well, 3 days means you broke the conversation. You had a break. Okay, so, and they whipped out their Visa card or their bank account number. We signed them up. Don't tell me that doesn't happen. It does happen with your highest influence people. Once you get past them, now what? And what have you taught them? The only people you can sign up are the people you have really high influence with. Use the tools on purpose, and you finish out and you put the cherry on top of this 12 by 12 system and the 95% training thing. This part is simple. There's two ways to do it. The very short way, and then the not quite so short but still short way. There's only, as you look at the list, 5 or 6 tools down here. What are they? Well, you've got your sample, if you're using them, a website, your Canway site, and if you're on our team and you filled out the form, your own CBD is Freedom site. You've got a video that you could send them to. You could send them to YouTube videos. I don't suggest that because you turn them loose into the world of all the other sharks out there that are looking for the minnows to eat. But you can pick a video and send them directly to it, just one. Or you can do a 3-way call. You can do local meetings if there's local meetings where you're being, or you can start doing them, right? There's 2-on-1 meetups. So you've got a lot of different ways to turn somebody loose because you're going to anyway. Let's just face it. Once you get past the super high influence people, you're going to turn them loose anyway. So way number 1 is, you don't know much about this person, we'll say, and you finished up saying, we got on the product and you haven't looked back. And you just wait. They've asked something, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what the question is. If it's something where you don't want to feel like you're dodging it, so is CBD legal? Yes, it is in all 50 states federally. You can just, boom, answer that. Until they come up with a question where either you don't know the answer or this is a good one to springboard into a tool. Whatever it is, you can say, you know what? That's a great question, and what I'd like you to do is have the opportunity to do a little research on your own. What do you think? Well, absolutely, because now they've just been told, I'm going to cut you loose and know that there's no pressure. So I've got to, and then wherever you think is best, I'm going to give you some lead-ins. So one of them, because if you can get them into a three-way call right away, that's cool. Websites and whatnot, videos are also awesome, and you can just tell them, you know what I think, based on everything you've told me and what I know, your best next step would probably be just to visit a website where we've got a lot of stories of people who've been using the CBD, and that's all you're going to see there is just, there's 3 videos on 3 pages, and there's several stories of people, and you describe that tool. The other big key is key tool is local meetings. If you know, I don't know how you feel about meetings, but what I did, and you can tell what I did is I attended, if you did, by the way, a meeting that's held every week at a guy's house or wherever it is, you know, where people just shared their stories, and I got to see some of the products. I got to try some of the products, and it was awesome. What do you think? Would you like to be able to do that and throw it back to them? Another one is they've asked a question. You say, you know what? I don't have the best answer to that, but I work with a guy who's been, or a gal, who's been doing this for, you know, about a year or however long, longer than I have. And what I'd like to do, if you'd like, is get them and me on the phone with you together, so no pressure, and let them answer. If they've asked questions, because people, if they get the idea, there are people out there, if they get the idea that you're open to being drilled, they'll just keep drilling you and drilling you and drilling you. And so your out is, you know what, I don't have the best answer to that, but I have a website, I've got a video, I've got a friend, I've got a meeting. Send them to a tool, because what you're going to do then is follow up. All right, so we're going to wrap this one up. We've got step 1. Let's do it this way. Step 1 is break the ice, open a conversation with somebody. Step 2 is now use your fact, small bit of information to plant a seed that says, I might want to know more about this. And then put a little cap on that with your 1-minute presentation that says, this is what happened to me, this is where I was coming from, this is what you'd have to do, this is how it works, and this is what it can mean to you, right? Which is going to lead them to say, well, how would I figure out more? What could I do next? Whatever. We have websites, we have videos, we've got 3-way calls, we've got local meetings, we can meet up 2-on-1. I can bring the answer person with me to a coffee shop, get them to a tool. Okay, so this one's gone a little long, but we're going to wrap it up with one final video, and then you're off and running. Okay, thanks. See you on the last video coming up.